Yo, 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 what up, everybody? It's your boy Hohoz, and it is the Core Culture Podcast. We are late as fuck, man. Let me tell you. It is 6:10. Sorry to make you wait. I know. I'm supposed to start at 6, but I've got some cool shit happening this week. Just know that we're going to be talking to Tommy Hohoz, man. A dope-ass producer, bro, that you guys and anybody else who ever listens to this damn podcast is going to fucking love once we're done. But look, let's get into it, man. Let's stop playing around and bring this man on. Tommy Hohoz, what is up, bro?
Nothing, man. How's it going?
Dude, man, look, you come you you were recommended to me, all right, by one of my great friends. Let me just give a special shout out. Mike Tux, what up, bro? You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, good guy.
Special shout out to Mike Tux, man. And every time he sends me somebody, I know it's got to be something special, man. So,
Right.
um let's get into this, bro. Tommy
hmm
Hohoz, man. What made you choose that name, bro?
long story short, I'm a type 1 diabetic. So, like, I was around 10, 11 year old, was making my YouTube channel just for, funsies, whatever. It wasn't that big of a thing at the time. And
Yeah.
my sugar was low. So I checked my sugar, it was low. I grabbed something out of the cabinet. It was a Ho-Ho and a can of Coke. Long story short, it auto-corrected as I was typing it to Hose with cans instead of Hose with a Coke, because that's what I originally put. And then ever since then, I got involved into the modding community. I became a software developer at the age of 11. And then from there, and all the forums and communities and everything has to do with that certain type of software development, everyone used to just call me Ho-Hos for short. And then after so long, I got involved into music production. And you know what? I'm just going to put Tommy Hose and see if it flies.
Dude, that's
Crazy.
that's fucking awesome though. I mean, think
Yeah,
about it.
it's
You
great.
know what I mean? Like you taking something that could be an adversity and turning it into something positive, man. Now that's amazing, bro. Right?
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm
that's the
saying? Like
way.
people always like, "Oh man, I got this problem." Nah, bro. I took what that was and I made it something positive. I grew from it.
Right.
I've made something better, right?
Yeah, for
I think a
sure.
lot of people miss that part, man. Like they need to be more active in understanding that don't ever take it. Look for the solution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
That
like that
that's
kind of shit.
that's
That's a dope vibe, isn't it? I mean, like you start to get it. You're like, man, this is my life right now.
yeah. No, that's usually what I try to go by. I give myself self motivation. That's more of my thing. My one of my personality traits.
You think so? Like having it that way, like that's how it would work for you.
Yeah, I build myself up, my own suspense.
Yeah, man. You know what? A lot of producers, bro, because you guys are like recluses. You know, you disappear and you're in your little thing and you're making your beats and you're not really worried about anybody after a while. I can sympathize. All right, you know,
Right.
doing podcasting and building stuff. I mean, hell, before we even started the show today, imagine all we went through, man.
Yeah. That was
So
that
so
was
just think
it
about it.
was a little
It's like
haywire.
we do this life to make it sound good and get all these cool things happening, but if you don't like get there, man, you know, it takes a while, bro. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, man. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I go through those problems all the time with music production, just trying to find the right sound. And, sometimes when I'm engineering or something, or, just the mic's not working, the speakers are not working, and it turns into a 2 hour solution I have to go through.
Right? Isn't that the worst thing though? Like after it all, you know? And I've said this I don't know how many times, man, but it's like you work at the art and you take a look at like what you have and you're like, I've got all, these pieces I've put together. Here's my drums.
Right,
Here's my rhythm section. Here's
right.
my vocal little snaps that I put in there because I wanted them. Whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is. And you're like, nope, I'm gonna tweak this again. And you're there. And I think being a producer, it's part of what I always like to ask you guys. Like, when do you know you can stop tweaking the song and you know it's done? You know what I mean? Like when do you come to that point where you're like, all right, man, I don't need to edit this anymore. I think it's gonna work.
Um, when you corrected what you hear in your head, when you picture a painting in your head and then
Yeah.
you try to put it on the canvas. Literally, that's what the way I look at it as. You know, I'm like, all right, I need it to sound exactly what it sounds like in my head. If it doesn't sound like that, what it sounds like in my head, or at least 90% of, what my head is trying to tell me,
Yeah.
I have to get to there. I have to get there.
Right, right. Like it's like this thing where you push, man. And I keep,
Mm.
I mean, I asked myself that question too. That's why I was like, man, what's your process? Like, how'd you even get into it though? I mean, like, what made you want to do production?
Oh, well, long story short, I went through a lot of different career choices in my life. I went from being a software developer, and then from there, I dabbled with a little bit of music production. But learning that at a young age would look like rocket science to me. I was like, oh no, I can't do
What
this.
the hell?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was like, all right, yeah, that's like rocket science to me. I made a little snippet like in 2011, 2012,
Yeah.
and from there, I cast off of, you know, s- completely stopped with software development and being an engineer, and I want to be a rapper.
What? You could spit bars? Wait, you got bars right now? No, no, no. That's
Uh,
okay.
no,
No, you don't gotta spit bars.
no,
You don't gotta.
I grew up in Philadelphia,
Ah,
so
yeah, Philly, baby. All right.
yeah, yeah, I grew up in South Philly, so the majority of my life, you're on the street, you hear people rapping, you're going to school and all that, you hear people busting bars and flows, you're like, yeah, I can do this, and you get hyped up. Then from there, I went from just rapping to making my own beats. I had to learn how to make my own beats, so it was like around 2015, 2016 era. And from there, I was like, okay, I want to make these own beats and all that stuff. And I totally forgot about rapping. Rapping was like out of my head. I just
You
want to,
gave up on the whole wanting to do that key piece. I guess you know what that does
yeah.
make sense though. Think about
Mm,
this, man. It's like me. Like I transitioned from doing podcasting for iPhone rumors to interviewing artists from around the United States.
right.
And it's crazy that like I made that transition. Like how did you know for sure that this is what you wanted to do or get that choice or get to that point?
No, I always was inspired by music ever since I was little. I always wanted to be some type of musician or anything to do with that. Music was just always as inspiring to me, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like it was cool, and everything else faded like as a career choice. And I always lead back onto music, no matter what it is, from playing the guitar to playing the piano, to just having a beat in my head, or and then the rapping came out of me, and I was like, yeah, but I don't really. The rapping is like so overpopulated. I want to make,
It was a side note more than what you really wanted to do, right? It was more like
yeah, and
I think I can do this, but I'd rather maybe do production.
yeah,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
then from the rap beats, I got so bored of it. It was so easy. Just you throw on a loop, you throw on some drums, and then boom, you got a rap beat, and then anyone could go on that. I could do that. I could do that with a couple of pencils and a guitar and a piano.
Yeah,
And I really pushed myself to the limit. So say, okay, what is the most extreme thing I can do
yeah.
in this software? And it went to electronic music. It went to EDM. And I was like, yeah, that has to be the most insanely thing because I grew up on it to begin
Yeah,
with.
of course, of course. Like if if that's what you listen to.
Yeah.
I like EDM, man. I'm a big drum and bass fan though.
Okay.
But I used
Yeah.
to listen to it when they called it jungle. So
Yeah.
it wasn't called drum and bass back then. It was jungle.
It was.
So for
It
all the
was
true
called
heads
jungle.
out there, what up? Y'all already know. So it was jungle, and I just I think it's just the evolution of music, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's beautiful, man. Like what I want to do though, talking about music. Let's
Mm.
take a quick break, man, and we're gonna jump into one of your tracks here. It is called "Above and Beyond," and let's hop into this bad boy. I'm gonna give you guys a really nice sample. If you guys do want to see this, please go and stream Tommy Hoho's music, man, because that's where it counts, and I want you guys to get that. But let me hop into it right now. Here we go. 3, 2. Yeah, baby. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, above and beyond. Look, man, I'm not lying. I'm listening to these songs right now. I haven't had a chance to like get any time in or like,
Right.
none of that stuff. Like I was literally, you guys, I literally put everything together within the last hour. I'm not lying to you. It was so
Yeah, yeah.
crazy, man. I mean, just really, really hard, right? And in all cases, you always like think, man, like, what do? How are you gonna do it? And you try and make things work. And it took me a while, and we made it here. And I got to play this amazing song for you guys. Let me tell you, man. Above and Beyond takes me to that Tiesto feeling. I love that style, that trancey kind of hit,
Yeah,
man. I love
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. Um, and that was an era I think that you man, it's like little pieces of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's not exact because it's just, everybody's got their own style, but like the hints and the flavor of that, it made me
Mhm.
like, hey, man, this sounds familiar. Like I know this is something that I've heard before or that is similar to things that I've liked in the
Right.
past,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how I got there. So that's like my feeling, man. It's a comfort thing, right? Like Above and Beyond feels like a comforting song, right? Like it's gonna be something that's new, but
Mhm.
you've heard it before. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you felt like you're like, yo, I like this type of music. I would definitely listen to that. You know what I mean? And that's what you get from it, right? Like I got that Tiesto feeling. You know what I'm saying? To give you
Yeah,
a
yeah,
comparison.
yeah. Right, right. Exactly. And when it took me actually 4 months to make it. Actually,
Holy
believe it
crap,
or not.
man! You know what I
Yeah,
love?
yeah,
I like towards the end there where it has that like that little stutter that you know what I'm saying, and then it
yeah,
drops
yeah.
again. Come on, bro. That shit is sick. And again, for everybody that doesn't know, this is why I love talking to producers. It's them understanding how to get the doll to do that key piece. Okay. Just to make it
Exactly.
do that little thing. It's like everybody's like, oh, bro. Like, nah, man. Real producers, they can even use the DJ equipment to make the sound if they need it to. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different, man.
That
There's
is
levels
true.
to this shit. I think guys think that just because they have a laptop and Fruity Loops and they're just gonna make music, right? Or they bought their first like MacBook Air, right? Because that's all they could
Right.
afford at that time, and they got GarageBand. They're like, I'm gonna make some shit. I was like, nah, man, you need the equipment to go into it. It doesn't matter the DAW, but if you don't have the equipment, then it won't matter what you have, right? I think that's the
Oh,
biggest thing. So like for you, man, I mean, obviously you've been doing this for a while. Like what's your go-to, man? Like what's your go-to pad or what's your go-to instrumentation and software when you're doing your stuff?
well, I use Fruity Loops, and
You do
majority
use
of every
Fruity Loops. Look at me, man. I'm
yeah.
talking shit and you use Fruity Loops.
Well, I grew up on
I'm
Fruity
sorry, it's
Loops.
just I grew up on it, but it was not very strong. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to transition to Ableton. I'm pretty sure you heard of Ableton. Ableton is a
Ableton is the
very
shit, man. That is
yeah,
definitely
Ableton is a
some
very
amazing software.
but I learned how to use Fruity Loops so advanced that there's no reason for me to switch to another DAW and learn all their
All their
features
shit
when
again? Wow.
yeah,
It
all
makes
the same
sense though. I mean, but you can
yeah,
still do it. I remember Fruity Loops, man. That's awesome
back
that
in
you
the
use
day.
that though. I was
Yeah,
talking shit
yeah.
too.
No, no, it's cool. Look, it goes vice versa. It goes hand in hand, you
You know
know?
what I mean? I just like you start off right making the music. What did I say everybody uses? And you're like, bro, I actually use that. And I'm like, I knew
Yeah,
it.
so,
See,
but actually, believe it or not, what you said again, I have to go right back onto. All I use is a laptop. There's not a
right?
laptop
There's
and a
nothing
pair of
else that you
headphones.
need, right? All the
No,
all the drums are loaded.
everything
Everything
is all
else is
loaded.
there,
Every
right? So
sound, yeah,
again,
every sound.
the machine that you use, everybody says that it's gonna be a problem. How are you gonna get there? You're solving it. You're
Yeah,
like, I've got Fruity Loops. I know how every piece works, and literally
right.
all I need is this because
Yeah.
everything's already loaded there, right? You've got all the sound packs, and I'm sure if like you need the
Mhm.
expansions, you could probably buy them and add them, right? Whatever
Yeah,
samples you want, shit like that.
yeah, automatically, and I do everything raw too. I don't really take other people's sounds or anything like that. I go from a straight,
Right, like you're literally putting in the sequences for all the drums, for the
correct. Yeah,
synths, everything. You're
yeah,
playing them.
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. And I like doing it like that. It gives me more of a natural, organic vibe, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, man,
And
for sure, dude.
yeah, it gives me that organic feeling, like like creating harvesting a plant or harvesting vegetables or anything like that. It's organic, nothing you know
You gotta love that though,
modified.
right? Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like it
there's
just
no
it came from you.
modification. Yeah, there's no modification or anything like that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, bro. Well,
Yeah.
talking about no modifications, man. This one's been modified. This is a little remix here that we're gonna hop into now. This is again, I haven't listened to this track yet, but this is a remix you did of the song Joyner Lucas.
Mm.
Little remix by Hoho. Let me tell you, man. Um, this is fresh for me, fresh for you guys. Let's get into this one. Here we go.
One time for them praying on my downfall. Yeah. Two times for the homies in the child hall. Three times for them hoes on the internet shitting on niggas when they really should get out more. Four times for the days that were all back. Five times for the bitches they call back. Yeah. Six times for the kid like me who got ADHD. Kidnap a nigga like ISIS. Whoa. Turn the whole world to a crisis. Whoa. Walk around the city with an ice pick. I'm paranoid, usually I ain't like it. Same no telling how crazy I might get. Beat the police with a nice stick. In my whole life I've been lifeless. Now I'm so fly in my motherfucking flight route. Fuck a couple of hoes, pass out. Niggas throwing stones in my glass house. I remember sleeping on my dad's couch. Now I got the Bentley and it's blacked out. Bentley looking at me like a cash cow. Everybody just needs to have clout. Thought you had a chance, now you asked.
Oh yeah, here we go. What? And that's all y'all get, man. Because if I give you any more, y'all ain't gonna go stream that shit. But there's a little taste. That's that remix, baby. You know you gotta love the drop, man. You know what? You know what? You know what? A good drop is what everybody needs at the beginning of a song, right there, man. And you know what? I love how you threw the piano in there for the remix,
Mm.
man. Beautiful,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah. It
played
was.
all of this shit. Like you literally keyed this shit out.
Yeah. I threw it all together. It was like a recipe. Someone gave me a recipe. It was like cayenne, chicken breast, and noodles and all that. I'm like,
And
all
this
right,
is
I
what
gotta
it
throw it
is,
together.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man. That's
I
awesome.
threw it all together, and like it was mentioned with the builds. That's like the biggest thing. Like when you go to a restaurant, it's the best way how I describe music, like as if you're hearing it. So the build is it's building up. It's you ordering the food, right?
Yeah.
And you see the food coming to you, it smells good, all that, the pictures, da 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 da, and you want it to taste as good as you think it is,
Right?
and that's what I try to give plus more than like, oh wow, this is extremely good. This is not just good, this is extremely good. So majority of the songs that I make with a build up and with the drop, it's you enjoying that food, not just with uh saying, wow, all right, this is good, but it's that ear candy.
Yeah,
It's
man. And
yeah.
excuse me.
Oh,
But that's it though. I think like all that stuff makes a difference, right? The fact that you fine tune each instrument, you add each
mm,
piece that you want, and then
yeah.
the song comes out. And it's cool that you did a remix though, right? Like not
Mm,
every producer will venture out like that. Like some guys will be like, oh, I don't want to touch that, right?
right.
Like could you even mix this type of song with these type of beats?
Right.
And that's the
Right.
thing though. It's like, yes, you can.
Yeah, it's you have to have the mindset for it.
Yeah,
You have to
man,
wake up. You
exactly.
have to
Can
you
you
have to
convert any song to EDM? Probably, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like no BS. Like I could see
I
myself doing it.
if you go on TikTok, man, there's too many
Right?
producers out
Everybody's
there.
got a remix of one.
Yeah, everyone got some type of different flavor. You hear
What's
people
your take
mixing.
on that? What's your take on the TikTokers, man? Do you think that they're taking away from the art and just using the tools that TikTok already has? Because again, it's just a song. All they did was add a speed up or they add a slowdown to it. It's not like they're creating a new song. You with me there?
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I try not to fall into that trend because it gets so easily like gifted to you. Like it's in your face, you know? It's literally a tease.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I
I,
say it because I feel like, overall, we'd want to make sure that people understand, like, hey, this
mm,
is what it is. It's not like, like I made this. Like I was literally here. This is me pressing all these keys. It wasn't like I took your already existing good song and all I did
right.
was speed it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The
Oldie but a
tempo
goodie.
to make, yeah. It's like, no, man, no. I need you to like work for it. You know what I mean? Like really, really make this what I want you to do. You know what I mean? Like
I
let's
I used to hate on people like that, but then I started looking at it, and sometimes like that can be one of their greatest creations. You
the
know,
the remix
not even the remix, like the speed ups or the slow
or
downs
the
or
slow
all
down
that
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like it. A lot of people, a lot of their fan base, or a lot of people that go and actually play those songs or put in their snippets, all that yada yada.
Because that's what they wanted to hear, right? They're like, hey,
Yeah,
nobody's ever done this before. I want to hear it that way.
yeah, exactly. And then one guy will go, boop.
But I mean, I think it's like anything, right? Like the slowed down music, right? Like at least when I was a kid, man, I'll show my age now, but I remember we used to have this guy, Rocket Rod, man, right here locally, and
Mm,
he would slow down any album you wanted. I remember I
right.
had Method Man to Cow slowed down,
Okay.
and I'm riding in my car with this shit, and people were like, "What the hell, bro? What? Slow down?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, you never heard nothing like this." And it was just a thing. And then after a while, it kind of became a thing for a while, really in Texas more than anything. But
Right.
we had it here too. It was kind of cool, man. And then you moved on, and like electronic music has always
Mm,
been around. And I think that's probably where my next question should go, man. Like,
okay.
um, I mean, how long in total have you been doing this? Like years or whatever?
Honestly, the music in general, I can't say music production in general, but music in general, with writing, lyrics, beats and all that stuff, everything included.
Yeah,
What are we, 2023? Man, 13 years.
dude, that's pretty
12,
cool.
13, 12,
Hell
13
yeah.
years. Yeah. And since the past maybe 6 years, I've been really like saying, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my
This is
life.
the key, right? Like if I want to
Yeah.
figure something out, this is what I love. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
And
I think that's what people need to drive towards, right? Like find the
mm,
passion, right? Make it
yeah.
so that it gives you what you need.
Yeah, the drive I have for it, Nas is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I'm like, man, this is. I can't see myself doing anything else.
Right? Like you wouldn't
Honestly,
change your mind for somebody. Like, no, no, I like this. This is me.
no.
We're just
Yeah, I
gonna stick
can't.
with this. I don't
Yeah,
want to do, yeah.
and I've been growing that reputation of like, I don't give a fuck.
Right? Like it's not necessary at that point, right? Am I wrong for, feeling that way too, right? Like you shouldn't have to bend or change. Like this is what I'm gonna do with it, right? Like this is my
Right,
future.
right. It's not fitting in is actually the better way than fitting in. A lot of people don't really understand it, but they look at it though. If you
They
know what I
do. I
mean, it's
think
like.
they do. I think everybody has that, where I mean, no, I'm on the fringe, man. I'm not really that or that. I'm just kind of rolling down my own thing, right? It's my own lane.
Right.
I built this
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Exactly.
think people should get more respect for that, man. You know what I mean? Like being
Yeah.
individualized. I don't think that it's wrong to be
Individualized. I
different
like that word.
because yeah, exactly, right? Cuz I mean, think about it. Like you created this is what you want, right? There are other
Mm,
people that and then they want to throw you in a genre and say, "No, you have to fall into this." And I'm like, "Well, maybe it's not quite that.
right.
Maybe it's a
Exactly.
culmination of all these things."
Yeah.
You
It
know?
is. It is like that. And the words can't really describe it because every human being is different.
They are though, right? Like we can't we're not sitting here saying we're all gonna have the same answers to it all. I'm not
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that. But what I am saying is that like after a while people start to see that, you know, um I just feel like they shouldn't limit what it is just because they want to put it within a genre, right? Because then
Yeah.
that helps you. I mean, that kind of hurts you on the streaming too, right? Like you make EDM, right? But if you only put yourself in a specific genre, then no one in anything with electronic music in general may not see you, right? Like you may not ever show up in their stream. right?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
chose,
exactly.
oh, I only do EDM, but it says like electro, house,
Mm,
or trance or whatever, you know, and you have to like pick this thing. And I think that's what makes it hard for a lot of electronic producers to kind of like be heard by all people who like electronic music, you
yeah,
know?
to stick to one thing. And
Yeah.
if you go and you check, not you exactly, but if anyone goes and they check out any of my platforms, I have a whole subcategory of different genres in between EDM.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah, like there
yeah,
might be something in there you might like, you didn't know, but
yeah,
Tommy was
I pay
producing this shit. You could have been in
yeah,
there and been like, "Man, look at all these other songs I could have listened to, but
right,
you know, they're only going to feed me whatever, you know, you pick, right?" And that's
yeah.
tough, man. And that's why I say streaming is a it's a tough business, right? Like keywords are, you know, mixed
Mhm.
in there. Then you got to pick the right genres you want to be associated with. So like when, you know, you get the numbers and stuff, it's tough, man.
I was just saying, I posted up on my stories. I think I made a tweet about it. I'm not sure. Earlier well, today, Friday, this was a very big release date for a lot of music, and
Right?
I sat there for like a good hour and a half just listening to all the new releases of all my favorite artists, and I'm like, wow, imagine 20 years ago, like, you know how hard it was to go and listen to these songs. If they were out, you wouldn't hear it till like maybe at least 3 months ahead.
Nah, man. I mean, you had to like go, you know, you had to go like either you were hearing the exclusive on the radio
Yeah,
or like you went to the Sam Goody or you went to the Circuit City or wherever the hell you went and you bought the CD on release
bought the
day
CD.
because that's
Yeah,
what was there. And you're like, hell yeah, I got this music now. Now it's like they do these
it's
digital
too easy.
releases. They put a date and then it goes boom, it goes out, you know, through the digital distributor, and then nobody ever has to do anything about it, right?
Nope, it's
It's like
too
nobody
easy.
wants that tangible feeling anymore.
No,
I mean, I want tangible feeling for certain things, but I don't need it for some of the other ones, right?
mm,
Like I still have some hard copy music that I will just never get rid of because it's just, you know. But
yeah,
there are some
it's
digital ones that I'm like, I'm not that worried about it. Like I only keep the stuff that I know for sure I want in my, you know, and it's typically it's the shit that I grew up listening to, you know what I mean? So like
right.
did that affect you? I guess that's my other question too, man. Dang, I should ask that. I mean, like what affected you when you were growing up to make you want to be in EDM music though?
Oh man, how did they come up with this?
That was the question, right? You needed to know.
I have a very weird thought process of like when I see something or something that I'm interested in, I want to know the engineering process behind it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
look at a car, I want to know what type of engine it is, what valves are in it. Well, you know what I mean? How
Right, you're
much
trying to get
horsepower?
down to the technical spec. I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I
That makes
like really
sense.
getting down to the source. And when I was younger, like I said again earlier, it was like rocket science. So I as I grew up and I was like, yeah, this is how they did it. And I'm like, okay, hold on, let me try to do it like this. Let me let me not copy it, but let me throw my own twist and let me put my own self out there. And I'm like, wow, this is easy, but it's also hard at the same time. It's easy because I hear it in my head of what I want to hear, and it's hard to put it out on paper.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. Here's something that we can put on paper so everybody can hear. And it's the last track we're going to play today, man. This one's called Lose Control by Tommy Hohoz. I'm going to rewind this bad boy and start it from the beginning for you guys because I had it in the background giving you a little teaser. But here, Liz, let's go full live right here. Lose Control by Tommy Hohoz.
Never felt right till you came along and got me so right. You going on and get me through. I knew.
Ah, there it is. Another little snippet for you guys, man. Like I said, I want you guys to stream this stuff, man. Go look it up. It's called Lose Control by Tommy Hohoz. TommyHohoz. Look that shit up, man. Get out there and stream it, everybody. It's just dope music, man. I love it. Plus that the vocals. I don't know. I don't know who the vocals came from, but give her a shout out for us, man.
Sample actually. That's on my
Yeah.
actual
All right.
sample.
Well, whoever made the sample, shout out to y'all. That shit was dope. And shout out to you
Yeah,
for adding that to the song, man. Really dope.
appreciate it, bro.
You
Appreciate
know
it.
what's crazy? It's like all these things are what I've been talking about, man. The creativity. It's like taking these key pieces and knowing where to add them, how to sequence that into the track. And you're like, I got so many bars within this. So where am I at? I'm a 4-on-4, so I've got this many beats, you know, that I can put
Right.
in, and then now I got to add that vocal inside of all of this, so it's on time.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest part of production is?
The hardest. Oh, listen. All music is very critical to everyone. You know, it's different to everyone's ears. Not
Yeah.
everyone's gonna like everyone likes cheese, but you know, not a lot. Not everybody.
Not everybody's gonna eat the cheese, right? It's like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Or you got
exactly.
lactose intolerance. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That sucks. Seriously.
But yeah, true. But what I was going back to is the hardest part about it is really it's getting down to, you know, adding everything together. What do you want to hear? It's not even the mixing part, because the mixing part, the mastering part, you know, tightening up the bolts and squashing all the bugs. Well, that's the best way to call it.
Yeah, that's a good
And
way to put it. Yeah.
yeah, tightening up the bolts, squashing up the bugs. That's not even the main part. The main part is just not the quality. That's a good word for it. The quality, but it's really putting it all down on paper. You know, everyone has different handwriting, and as long as you can read it, and if it's like a book, if it's a good story, you know, then sometimes it's hard coming up with a good story, and that's the way I look at it as, and it's very hard sometimes to come up with a good story. So it's like overall coming up with the main topic, the main conversion altogether, not just the mixing or the mastering, because that goes at the end. You can send that to anybody now, and you could just pay them a couple $100 or pay them whatever fee it is, and they can make it sound radio quality.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, dude, there's engineers everywhere, audio engineers, man. You
yeah,
can take a
exactly.
song that you think is not gonna sound good, you take it to them, and then they're like, I can fix this.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, they
Yeah, a
take all
couple
the
hours.
stems out of it. They separate everything. They're like, this is
Mhm.
what I need here. Let me turn this up, turn this up, turn this up. Now they're all
Yeah,
equal. Boom, 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 boom. They put it
right.
back out. And that's why you're seeing these like, you know, this like 256, hertz or whatever. And it like they're compressing it down. It's like a 10 megabyte track and compressed down to about 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
nuts, man. And that's why they sound so good. And a lot of people don't realize that is all in the engineering of the audio, you know, at the end, like that final
Yeah.
mix, man, where they finally get it all down. Like you said, that fine tuning.
Mhm.
I guess my last thing I want to ask you before we get to the end here is
Mhm.
for upcoming or, you know, new producers, man, what advice could you give them, you know, to keep going?
This. Oh, let's see. Hold on. This is a good one. The best advice I could give somebody is just really just, if you doesn't forget about what anybody else says, even it says about it, just continue doing it. If you think it sounds good, go ahead and do it. And watch and learn a lot from everyone else. I'll tell you that, because that's how I learned. You know, you can't just go in and just take your laptop and get your program and say, "Oh, I'm going to make this crazy beat." It doesn't really work like that sometimes. Sometimes you have to really learn and get educated. The more education you get, learn about it, it might not hit you right there and then, but when you're working on that certain track, it will come to you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So there you go, people. Some great advice, man, from a dope producer, Tommy Hohoz. Tommy, man, before we get out, let's let everybody know where they can find everything associated with your music, man.
You guys can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You guys could just type in TOMMY space HOHOZ, or even just type in HOHOZ. I should be able to pop up just like that. It's a good keyword. Keyword Hohoz.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Well, you already know where you can find us, the Core Culture Podcast, everywhere, on all social media, and of course, right here on YouTube, man. Our new home for giving everybody some of this dope shit that we come up with every week. Remember, man, first and third Sundays of every month. And if you guys miss one, don't worry. We'll have the recap show coming up in just a little while. So yeah, man, That's it for me. Tommy, bro, you're the best, dude. Thank you so much for coming through, man.
Thank you so much for interviewing me as well.
Yeah, man.
I
I
was
had
glad
I had a
getting to
great
know you.
time, bro. I had a great time with this. The music is dope. Keep that shit going because clearly you've got a good mix of what people really need, and that is some dope ass music to listen to, man. So everybody who's listening, man, don't forget, go out there and stream all the Tommy Hohoz music, man.
Appreciate it.
So
thanks for all the love, man.
Yeah, bro. And remember, it's a weird day for us, right? Usually we do this on Sundays, but today is Friday because we had to hook up our homeboy. Again, peace to everybody who tunes in each and every week, man. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have these shows. And honestly, man, I'm just grateful for everything. Peace, everybody.